come with me to get my van, Vanessa, serviced at AutoNation Costa Mesa. This would be, or will be, the 6th time in less than 90 days that she goes to the shop. When we bought her, she had some issues, but I wasn't concerned. She came with a 90-day warranty. So anyway, AutoNation has not been fully honoring our 90-day warranty. They're not fixing her up, and we are now 4 days from this warranty expiring. So come along for the ride with me. So I'm driving Vanessa down to Costa Mesa, which is not close to my house. And my husband and son are gonna have to also drive down to Costa Mesa to pick me up because we're not getting a loaner vehicle today. They don't mind how inconvenient this is. So let's see. Luckily it's Saturday morning, so there's not much traffic like we have been dealing with. So right now my GPS says that it's going to take 41 minutes, so 82 minutes round trip, not including the amount of time that we have to explain the problem to them. So I'll see you when we get there. Okay, let me begin at the beginning. On September 25th 2025, my family and I purchased a Honda Odyssey from Lexus of Cerritos. And I know it's a Lexus dealership, but they sold us a Honda Odyssey. So it came with a 90-day warranty, which made me feel confident purchasing this van. I figured it's in decent shape, and if anything happens, it's gonna get fixed. So not a big deal. But almost immediately we started noticing like kind of little issues with the van. And at first I was thinking like, maybe these aren't issues. Maybe this is just me. You know, I'm just a girl and I don't know how this minivan works. I've never owned a minivan before. Like late September, we bought this van in late September. We bought it September 25th, but like several days after that, I noticed when I would start to turn on the car, it had a rough start. Like it, you know, push the start button and then it didn't turn over immediately. And I thought, am I imagining this? I don't know. But then it happened like 2 or 3 times. It happened so bad once that I was like, okay, this is like unequivocally, it's not starting like it should. So my husband took the van to the dealership on October 1st. So he took it to Lexus of Cerritos where it was purchased, and they replaced the battery. So the van didn't stay overnight that day. He just waited in the lobby. They replaced the battery. They said that's all it is. Okay, so we go on our merry way. Look, I have notes. I wrote a timeline so I wouldn't get this wrong. I have all the receipts, okay? I made this timeline based on emails and videos that I have. This is 100% accurate. You can trust me. I really respect dates. You know, then I also noticed that the rear lift gate, that's like the trunk basically, the rear lift gate, it was like what I call sticky to open. Like it wouldn't open smoothly, and I also noted that as kind of an issue. I brought it to their attention. They didn't seem to think anything of it. So on October 29th, the vehicle was taken back to Lexus of Cerritos because I started to think there's a problem with the alternator because there's all these weird symptoms. Here's the symptoms. We told them what they were. So the symptoms were interior lights flickering, the automatic sliding doors not working intermittently, and the door warning chime was going off when the doors were closed. Now, I want to be really clear. I was questioning myself, you know, like, do I not know how to drive this van? Do I not understand how things work? But all of these issues, like this cluster of issues, and then the fact that we had just had a battery replaced made me think that maybe it was like an alternator issue, It seemed like some kind of voltage regulator problem. I don't know, I'm not a mechanic, but this just seemed to be some kind of like alternator issue. So we brought that to their attention. We were told that actually we just needed a new battery. So we had gotten a battery 28 days prior. They're like, actually, you just need a new battery. I told them that didn't make any sense. And they're like, oh, well, the reason you need a new battery is because when we replaced the old battery, we put the wrong one in. We gave you a standard battery and you actually need an AGM battery. So they didn't have one in stock, so we had to leave the van for several days while they waited for it to come in, and they gave us the AGM battery. Here's what's significant about this. First of all, issues did not resolve. Like, we still had the same issues. We had the door issues, we had the light flickering issues, the trunk was still sticky, all of this, right? The other thing that's really frustrating about this is we live nowhere near Cerritos. Okay, like it takes a while. Let's see, it's Saturday today, so there's absolutely no traffic. We live in Los Angeles, which is kind of famous for having traffic. But if I check Cerritos Auto. Okay, right now it says that it's a 32-minute drive. That's without traffic, okay? Like, I mean, on a typical day, like rush hour traffic, it's gonna take over an hour easily to get there. Here's the other thing. My husband and I both have jobs. We work. So and they kept telling us, go ahead and bring it in today, you know, on a Wednesday morning or something, as if we don't work. So in order to get the van to Lexus of Cerritos for them to replace the battery with the right one because they put the wrong one in there, my husband happened to be off work that day. So he drove the van down there. And then my father, who's retired, happened to be free. So he drove all the way from his home to Lexus of Cerritos to pick my husband up and then drive my husband home, and then had to drive all the way back to his house, which is like, I mean, easily with no traffic, that's like a 2.5 hour ordeal. Like, and that's like absolutely no traffic. That's everything working out just fine. So 2.5 hours for my dad, you know, all this time for my husband. We drop it off so they can fix the mistake that they made. Okay. We're hoping that this is the last that we have to deal with them.